Okay, hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a 62 kill streak that I got with BB-8 on Naboo. I'll start off with the star cards I like to use and run for BB-8 in Galactic Assault. I found the best three are, the first one is self-repairs, which gives him BB-8 400 extra, or it gives him 100 extra health regen, which brings his total up to 400. And then I've got the two cable spin cards. I can't remember the names of them, they elude me at this time, but one increases both the damage and radius, and the other increases lowers the cooldown if you hit 2 enemies or more. Because cable spin is 100% his best ability, so you got to use that as often as you can, and you'll see it in use later on. First tip I'd like to give for BB-8 is to avoid any and all hero confrontations. The only two heroes that you're probably safe against are Bosk and Iden. As long as you can avoid Iden's stun, her and Bosk don't have much of a defense against you between your knockdown, rolling charge and your cable spin, so use that to your full advantage. Cable spin is the first and most important, or it's his best ability, so it's the one that you're going to get the most kills with. And the rolling charge is really good against infantry or to knock heroes over, like I do to Kylo right here. So you're mostly going to be relying on his abilities to get kills, but his little shock prod can actually be pretty reasonable as well. So you kind of prefer your order of using your abilities as the cable spin first, then the rolling charge, and then the shock prod is usually a last resort. Or like if an enemy's low on health, like it is there, you don't really want to be wasting your better abilities on a low health enemy, so you can use the shock prod on them in that case. And see, that's where the cable spin's really good, because I hit 2 enemies. I'm going to get lower cooldown, plus you get extra damage. Again, I use it to knock down Maul and at least make him remember that I'm there, and at least we're discouraging from actually going after me. And there was a BB-9 as well, which BB-9 is actually another one that you probably want to be watching out for. He can shock you and stun you out of abilities, and it can lead to a really bad time. So now there was 2 enemies there. They were both sort of lowish on health, but with BB-8 especially and BB-9, you don't want to be pushing those too much. You want to stick to your one-on-ones pretty much at all times. And that's the other thing to remember with his rolling charge, is it doesn't have unlimited length. There's a certain point where it just stops doing any damage. It's always something to be aware of. Again, I managed to knock them all away, but you got to be real careful of BB-9. I actually managed to catch him in the cable spin and get rid of him, which was extremely helpful for me. And the other ability to not underestimate is his left one, which is a resistance backing. So it takes you off the radar, it reveals enemies on the radar, and it increases the damage that enemies take. Only by about 7 or 8%, but it's, that can be the difference between getting the kill or not, or surviving a close encounter. So you want to use that ability as often as you have it available. In this case, there's only one enemy and I could see them, so using the resistance backing isn't as important. But as I see now, I don't know where enemies are coming from, so using that scanner ability gives you a good chance of finding enemies, which I managed to spot a couple on the radar back here and managed to take one of them out. So I think Naboo is, I'll touch on this when I do the BB-8 hero guide, which will hopefully be in the next week or two, but I think Naboo is probably BB-8's best map actually, mostly for the second and third phases. The chaos combining his cable spin and rolling charge makes for some pretty amazing multi-kills, which you're going to see as we progress to the second and third phases. So my only goal here is, in the first phase, is just to find the stragglers like this guy, stick to 1v1 encounters, and just, I'm not expecting, you know, with some heroes I can get sort of 30-40 kills in this first phase, but with the droids that's just not going to happen. So you just want to pick your fights and just get as many as you can, and at least in the case of BB-8 you can rely on the second and third phases to get a lot of your kills, especially with that cable spin. That's the one ability that's really going to hold you in good stead. So I'm playing pretty conservatively, just scanning. I mean, he's got the movement speed to be able to move around the map from side to side very quickly, and he's got the same little niche that Yoda has, which is that they're small enough to duck underneath the MTTs. So you use that to your advantage as well, especially on this first phase. Now I just want to ignore kind of anybody here now. I just want to make sure I get back in bounds before I worry about getting any kills. Now this is where BB-8 can do really well, as you are going to see. I think this cable spin is probably the best crowd control ability, in one of the best in the game, and as I say so, I just took out about 6 of them, including 2 droidicas. So if you manage to survive with BB-8 through that first phase, then you can absolutely go nuts in the second phase and in the third phase as well with the throne room. Actually, it was quite unlucky to die in the end. If I hadn't have, it could have potentially been a much bigger kill streak than 60. So I think at least what I'd like to see with the cable spin is some sort of indicator that tells you that you're being hit by it, because a lot of the time when you're playing infantry or reinforcements, by the time you realise that you're being hit by it, it's already too late and you've already taken a lot of damage. So that's something that could potentially change in the future, but it's still not going to make it any less of a deadly ability. As you can see there, it takes out reinforcements with relative ease. And then I just want to do the same tactic that I always employ, which is going from side to side, scanning the entire map. As you can see there from what BB-9 did, is he stunned me out of that cable spin. So you got to always be wary of BB-9s rolling around. They can be quite a nuisance. Again, just taking advantage of the cable spin. And I kind of want to reserve it for when there's at least a group of 2 or 3 enemies, because then you get the full benefit of the star card. Obviously if you don't have that star card equipped, then it doesn't really matter too much. Well, they're actually pushing us quite well, so it was at this point where I just thought I'll just go as ham as I can, and if they push us to the next phase, then that's a chance to get an even bigger streak, which they actually managed to do. They got a couple of droidicas in there to cap the objective. So as you can see, that cable spin can really get some really satisfying multi-kills, which is always, I don't think there's any better feeling in the game, to be honest, than getting a multi-kill with a single ability. Again, I'm still scanning, making sure to swap sides when I can, avoiding the heroes. I think that one of the biggest hero to watch out for is probably Palpatine, because his lightning can lock onto you, and I had to be real careful there because there was a Vader there. I probably shouldn't have actually pushed in there like that, which caused me to lose all my health. But the good thing about that cable spin is that you can just press the L and R buttons again, and that will cancel it. So if you're getting swung at by a Vader, you can quite easily bail. And I'd already gotten 3 or 4 kills at that stage, so felt like I'd done all that I needed to do. And then that, there's nothing that can explain that, just the massive multi, which made me hit 50, which was very nice. So it's the same for BB9 when you play him on Naboo, but just use the speed of the droids to your advantage. You're just causing chaos, basically, just going left and right, in between, and because you've got that speed, if you notice that the objective's being capped, or if you're BB9 and you're attacking and you notice the objective is being lost, you can quite quickly and easily charge in there and actually keep contesting it for a little while. And because you're so small, you're very hard to hit, which means if you keep yourself on the move at most of the time, like with a droidica, it means you're contesting it for long enough for your teammates to actually come in and help you. I don't know what happened to that guy there. I think he just quit the game, or he got booted or something, because he just disappeared. And this is where I have to be exceptionally lucky there to survive that with 1 health. And got a bit of a friendly health boost, which is always nice as well. We're just going back and forth and causing chaos as much as we can, using that cable spin. Get some really nice kills there. Got to be wary of the heroes, and being wary of the heroes is what I didn't do here by just charging in. I didn't see the heroes on the minimap, thinking that I could take these droids no problem, and as I try to escape I get choked by Vader, and that'll do me. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this, guys, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.